Alrighty guys, what's going on? Usual stuff today. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. At this point of the week, we do our college football recap video. Basically, we go over the bets we had for the previous weekend. There will be a separate video, of course, for NFL. We do this every single week. We got official plays. We got the recap videos. Everything's on here. Some people question your legitimacy. I'm very legit. You guys know that. The people that have been here on the channel for at least some time now, you guys have been enjoying the season, I'm sure, if you've been tailing my bets. I do actually, just to show a little extra transparency today, I pulled up my FanDuel account. I just want to show you this. Now, I'm not going to go crazy. This is just November, okay? Activity statement for November. As you can see right here, November 2023. Amount played, I have wagered about 5,600 bucks. Almost $6,000 through November, and it's only November 6th. So just to give you guys some transparency and to let you know, yes, I actually put money down. I am betting. I do this for a living. Why do you think I don't charge y'all for picks? Because I make money myself. So wagered 5,600, amount 184, just about 8,500. So with 5,600 bucks going out the door, I mean, that's almost what, like roughly a $3,500 profit off of a $5,600 amount. I mean, it's just unheard of. I'm the best in the industry as far as I'm concerned, but hey, that's completely up to you guys. Just want to be transparent today. Just want to be a little bit on the extra side. Maybe it does some rub some people the wrong way, and I'm not here to be extra cocky. I'm not here to try to claim like I'm some god. I'm gonna miss some bets. Look at the NFL percentage. We're just kind of treading water this year. It's not been kind of what we've hoped it would be. Just kind of neutral on NFL. So nothing to write home about. Just kind of want to be transparent today and let you guys know that yes, I do come on here every single week. I give you official plays, but I personally do bet a lot of other wagers that I just can't quite give you guys here on the channel. I do my best. I try to give out winners here, but personally, I absolutely crush it. I believe I'm one of the best in the industry, and maybe in the future, I'll become even more open and really open up the bag of goods for you guys and really give you the killer wagers, the 2-3 dime plays and stuff like that. I don't know, whatever. That's for another video. Today's the recap video. Let's get into it. College football, same story. Same story, nothing new, guys. 10 full weeks. We are done with 10 full weeks of college football. I'm over 60%, significantly. Really disappointed with Oregon State. I mean, the only thing we got wrong, the only thing I got wrong this past weekend was Oklahoma. Oklahoma minus 5.5 on the road in Stillwater. I guess that was not the spot. I thought Oklahoma would have a significant improvement in effort. I guess the roster just is not as good as I thought. So Oklahoma was the only true legitimate loss, right? The legitimate, like, wow, I was way off on that game. Oregon State was the right side, guys. It didn't hit. There was a late backdoor cover by Colorado at the end of the game. Oregon State just refused to, like, close the door. Like, they could have stomped Colorado. It seemed like they were just, like, half asleep, knew they had the game over, didn't really care about running up the score. And ultimately, we got backdoor covered, so we had a push on Texas A&M. I gave out an exact prediction on the Kansas State game, told you guys the over, told you guys both teams would get into the 30s, and told you guys there'd be overtime. All three were correct. I gave you the upset. Not only did I give you guys Arkansas plus the points, I said that's an upset pick. Arkansas did win. I got a lot of hate for that game. A lot of people were on Florida this weekend. I'm not afraid to go against the grain. So overall, 4-2-1. The tie just kind of disappears. It's just a push. But we're going to go ahead and update the whiteboard behind us like we do every single week. We stay transparent on this channel. We stay legitimate. And we document everything we do here in terms of our wagers. So let's go ahead and update the whiteboard. Another winning week. 4-2. Nothing's new here. We are crushing college football. I am one of the best. College football specifically. Maybe I don't know hockey or some of these other things. College football, I'll enter a contest against anybody on the face of the planet. Let's update the whiteboard. All right, guys. So whiteboard's updated for college football. We now sit at 37-23 here on this channel through 10 weeks. 37-23. That's 62% winning. That is a world-class number. I hope you guys do appreciate these videos. I do this completely for free. That's a lot of winning bets. I hope a lot of you guys are covering your Christmas gifts, or at least maybe your weekly drinks or whatever. A couple free meals on me, so you're welcome for that stuff. And more importantly, it is time to grab the slate right now. I'm gonna grab some fresh paper, and we're gonna get to work because it's another week. We got to take advantage of this. There's only so much more college football. Let's pull up the slate. I haven't looked at any lines yet. I specifically hold back. I wait until these videos to bring up the slate so we can get some first impressions on the lines here. And as always, chime in down below in the comments, guys. You guys have been giving me great advice. A lot of you guys out there in the comment section that follow my page, a lot of you guys have great ideas and think, very good, very sharp. Some comments are definitely good down there. So make sure you keep that up. It helps me and it helps others that watch these videos and might go down to the comment section to get some ideas of their own. So, college football. What do we got? I'm scrolling right now. We got a Thursday game, Virginia-Louisville. That's kind of gross. No thanks. I'm going to pass. Maryland-Nebraska. Not interested. I feel like that's a huge trap, though, right? Maryland minus 2.5. You think that's easy money? Short line for Maryland. That's probably an upset right there. Nebraska on the money line. I'm not touching it, though. Bama-Kentucky. The spread's 10.5. Let's at least write that one down. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. Bama minus 10.5 at Kentucky. Well, we went with Tennessee. What was it? 2 weeks ago, we laid 3.5 with Tennessee, and that was an easy win. Bama beat Tennessee, so you would think Alabama would cover that, but I'm not so sure. Texas Tech and Kansas. Texas Tech and Kansas. The number's 3.5. Texas Tech and Kansas. Wow. 3.5. I'd lean Kansas at home. I think their coaching staff is good enough to keep those players disciplined. I don't think there is such thing as a flat spot for this Kansas team. I think they're good. I don't think they're just gonna fall flat one week. I mean, this team's legit, and maybe Daniels is back. I think he's done for the season, but maybe. Boy, if we could get Daniels in that game, God, I would drop a substantial wager on Kansas at home. I don't think Texas Tech is very good. But let's keep scrolling. Michigan Penn State is this week. Wow, Michigan Penn State is this week. Okay. Michigan minus 5.5 at Penn State this week. After watching the Penn State Maryland game, I really feel like it's smoke and mirrors with Penn State. I really don't think they're good. I really don't think Penn State's good. The defense is elite. The defense is undoubtedly top 10 in the country. Are they going to score on Michigan? God, I don't think so. The total's 44.5. The total is 44.5. Boy, that seems high, doesn't it? For this particular game? I mean, 9 times out of 10 in college football, you see a 44.5 and you think hit the over. Penn State's defense, it's at home. Maybe they hold Michigan to like 20. I mean, if this thing's like 27-13, that's an under. I'm kind of leaning under. I mean, that's a short number, probably for a reason. This could be 17-13, 20-13. Penn State's defense is nasty. They're going to show up at home. Michigan's had some issues moving the ball against some subpar teams. But Penn State's not scoring on Michigan. No way. They're going to really struggle to score on Michigan. So, boy, I don't know. What an interesting game. Georgia Tech and Clemson. I'm not willing to touch that one. Clemson kind of got their monkey off their back. By the way, Clemson this previous week was an honorable mention. It didn't quite make our official plays, but I said consider Clemson this week. They won. Minus 14.5 now over Georgia Tech? No thanks. Watch Georgia Tech cover that number. I'm not interested. What else we got here? Scrolling. I'm on 2 p.m. now. Arizona, Colorado. Spread's pretty big in it. Pretty good there. 9.5. That's about where it should be. I like Arizona in the underdog role. I like them at home too. I'm not willing to touch that game. That could actually be an upset the other way. Maybe Colorado gets one more win. And I've been high on Arizona. I like them over UCLA. Yeah, I've watched a lot of Arizona football. Impressive. I just don't like that situation for them. Let's see what else we got. Baylor and Kansas State. Holy cow, the spread is 20.5. So in terms of a first impression, that seems wildly high. I know Baylor's not good, but 20.5? Maybe Kansas State will take out frustration from Texas, but 20.5, guys, that seems... I'm going to write it down. Baylor plus 20.5 on the road at Kansas State. Man, we can't do that, though. You can't trust Baylor, especially on the road. I'm going to write it down, though, just to kind of track the line movement. Texas at TCU, the line's only 10. That seems a bit short, doesn't it? Significant quarterback issues, though. That quarterback for Texas, man, he can get rattled. I got to double-check Ewers and see the situation with that. Texas minus 10 at TCU. You got to stay away from that. Utah, Washington. Boy, I just don't know if Utah, Washington is total. I'm going to write it down. Utah, they're plus 9.5 at Washington. Washington off the USC win. Boy, I'll tell you right now, this is a conflicting styles, right? This is for sure conflicting styles. Utah's a bit more physical, better on defense, better at home. Now they're on the road. Washington's kind of soft, but God, they can score at will. That's conflicting styles. I'm not willing to touch it. Interesting, though. Spread's 9.5. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm not willing to touch it. Here's one that's extremely alarming. This makes no sense to me. This is crazy. Oklahoma State, who just beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma State, who's 7-2 in the country. Oklahoma State, who debatably is a top 10 team in the country, is favored 2.5. I'm not lying. Oklahoma State is favored 2.5 against UCF? Boy, if that doesn't tell you to take UCF, I don't know what does. I'm writing it down, and I know that sounds crazy. Drop those comments below, guys. I know some of you are going to be like, what? That's easy money. Take Oklahoma State. Why the fuck is Oklahoma State favored only 2.5 to Central Florida? My West Virginia Mountaineers beat the pulp out of UCF, and they lost to Oklahoma State at home. Boy, that is a short number. Probably for a reason. That could be a huge upset. I'm going to circle Central Florida for now. We're going to look into that game a little bit more. Florida and LSU. LSU, I got to double check Daniel's health. I'm not sure if he's going to play. But Florida's really bad. I gave out Arkansas over Florida, obviously. And, yeah, I think, I just don't think they have the horses to keep up here. Tricky, though. Tricky game, I feel. Sort of tricky. I'm going to write it down. I got to lean on LSU. Florida plus 14 at LSU. 2 touchdowns. We'll see what the quarterback situation is for LSU, but I'd lean Tigers. Rutgers, Iowa. Holy cow. The under-over is 28.5. You kidding me? 28.5. How about that? That's got to be a record, no? 28.5 points? Staying away from that. Probably take the under, honestly. Auburn, Arkansas. Auburn, Arkansas. Wow, there's a pretty good game. I like that initially. Auburn is plus 2.5 at Arkansas. I'm going to lean with the home team here. I'm going to lean with Arkansas minus the 2.5. They fired their offensive coordinator. It looks like they've kind of gotten KJ going. Arkansas blew that previous home game to that horrible Mississippi State team. Find it hard to believe they're going to drop another game at home. And I think Arkansas is now 3-6. So if they do want to go bowling this year, they have to win out. They got to get to 6 wins, which means you have to win this one. It's at home. That's a short number. I like this spot again for Arkansas. We might go back to the well on the Razorbacks. They've been a covering machine this year. They're good in the underdog role. I don't love them laying points, but man, at home against a bad Auburn team or an underachieving Auburn team, yeah, I think their momentum continues from that Florida game. I like Arkansas here. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about that one. That's out of everything I got down so far, I'm liking that one. I like Kansas at home. I like Arkansas at home. Shit, I like UCF at home over Oklahoma State. I'm liking the home teams this week. Interesting. Stanford, Oregon State. Stanford is plus 21 at Oregon State. I think it's a good spot for Oregon State. God, they're better at home. They're a really good home team. I think they cover that number. It's a big number, though. Ole Miss, Georgia this weekend. Whoo, there's some games this weekend, aren't there? How many we've written down that are pretty impressive? Michigan, Penn State's this weekend. Ole Miss, Georgia's this weekend. Bama, Kentucky could be a good game. Yeah, we got some games, guys. We got some games. Ole Miss plus 11.5 at Georgia. Ole Miss plus 11.5 at Georgia. Just trying to say it. How does it feel rolling off the tongue? Ole Miss plus 11.5 at Georgia. I think I like the over. 58.5. 58.5. I mean, if A&M could put up some points on Ole Miss, Georgia sure can. And we know Ole Miss can score. I don't know. It's kind of tricky. I'm tempted to maybe look into taking the points with Ole Miss here. That's a monster game. That's got to be College Game Day, no? That's got to be. Maybe it's at Penn State with the Michigan-Penn State game. Cincy, Houston, two bad teams, no interest. West Virginia plays Oklahoma this week. I'm tempted to go back to Oklahoma and try again with the Sooners. But man, that's 3 pretty ugly games in a row. They looked bad against UCF. They looked bad against Kansas. And they looked bad against Oklahoma State. I don't know. Mountaineers suffered a lot of injuries. Coming off a good win. Did they fall flat in Norman and get crushed? I feel like they do. 12.5, reasonable number. I'm leaning Oklahoma here. I'm going to write it down. I hate to go against my Mountaineers. I hate to do it. And C.J. Donaldson could run all over Oklahoma, and that's a risk. When the Mountaineers get that rushing game going, they're potent. They're underrated. I feel like the Mountaineers should almost be ranked, but that's a different conversation. West Virginia plus 12.5 at Oklahoma. I'll circle it for now. We'll just kind of watch that line, see where it goes, see where people are betting on that one. Tennessee, Missouri is this week. Man, what a slate again. College football is rocking and rolling this time of year. Tennessee is the road favorite. Minus 1.5 over Missouri. I would lean. I don't know. It's tricky. That's tricky. Can we trust Tennessee and that quarterback to get enough points? Because Missouri's they're going to get at some points here. I know the Tennessee defense is legit, but Missouri at home. Catching 1.5. Interesting. I'll circle that game. We'll keep an eye on it. Michigan State, Ohio State. Man, I don't know. It's a huge number. 30.5. No thanks. Miami, Florida State. Miami, Florida State. 14.5. Weird number. I'm not touching it. Duke, UNC. Not touching it. If Riley Leonard was healthy, I'd be on Duke here. Can't do it. Arizona State, UCLA. No interest. Iowa State, BYU. No interest. USC, Oregon. Holy cow. USC, Oregon's this weekend, too. USC is plus 14.5 at Oregon. And I don't think they can stay within 14 against Oregon. I'm going to probably take Oregon this week. Look, I got to talk about this Caleb Williams thing before we end this video. And I'm not a bad guy, and don't get too upset with what I'm about to say, but everyone's like, what a beautiful moment, right? Him jumping into the crowd and crying like in his mom's arms after that loss. Dude, you got to go watch like some Mike Tyson stuff or Kobe Bryant. Like, dude, where is the cold-blooded killer instinct? Do you want to win or no? You can't cry. It's not, dude, you're not at like a first grade T-ball game. You're about to be in the NFL, dude. Like, you shouldn't be crying in your mom's arms after a loss. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. You guys can be like, oh, dude, you don't have a heart, man. He's a good kid. Dude, I'm sorry, man. Do you want to go out and get a win? Do you want to be cold-blooded? He should be pissed off. He shouldn't be crying at the end of the game. Go get a win, bro. Go win the game. Don't be crying in your mom's arms. Like, he's too soft. He's too soft. You got to have that killer Mamba mentality if you really want to be a star. In my opinion. Only my opinion, guys. I think we're off to a pretty good start this week. I like like 3 or 4 of these. We might end up with a couple more. Probably end up with, a good solid 5 or 6 official plays this week. I like this slate. There's some good games mixed in here. There's some nice medium kind of off the radar, but still, good conference games. I like this slate, guys. Hit that like button before you exit out the video, and I'll see you guys probably tomorrow night with the NFL recap video, and we'll get to work on the NFL slate, put together a good week in the NFL. So I'll see you guys in the next video.